Hi, you join me here in the northern part of Bali known as Munduk, famed for its waterfalls, scenery and for being a quieter side of the island. During my time here I've been staying at the Munduk Heaven luxury villas, but just how heavenly and luxurious are these villas? Before even entering the room, the most striking part has to be the location and the walkway to these floating villas. When entering the room, the first thing you notice are those giant floor-to-ceiling glass windows facing directly out towards that jungle landscape. The entire front of the villa opens up to the view, with the large double beds positioned perfectly towards it. In the corner, you find a deep jacuzzi bath, and there's also a wraparound balcony that feels incredibly private. These features, along with the finishing touches throughout the room, make the whole place feel more like a luxury retreat than just a standard hotel room. But what makes it really special is the atmosphere. However, we were warned that this specific room you can hear the road. While that is, yes, technically true, the only noise was the occasional short burst from a motorbike engine. The rest of the time it was pure birdsong and jungle sounds. There's a small but nice bathroom with a shower and a separate toilet. The chipboard walls kind of match the style of the room, however to me I think it's a slightly odd choice. There's also a second floor with another bed and some bean bags and a little bit more of that chipboard. Now I did stay in this hotel for quite a while and honestly never really felt the need to head up onto that second floor. The breakfast was delivered to the room each morning and you could choose the menu the night before. I went for the American breakfast, not entirely sure what makes this American, but it was pretty good. And honestly, what a perfect place to enjoy breakfast. So let's take a look around the hotel. The biggest possible downside is the layout. Because everything is built into the hill, you do end up walking up and down a lot of steep paths and stairs. There is also a vernacular, which, how many times have you said that in your life, that there's a vernacular at your hotel? But it was a little bit of a pain to wait for it. The hotel offers spa treatments and massages, and there's also an infinity pool right next to the restaurant. The restaurant I did actually eat at quite a few times, and yeah, it was decent enough. The pool though, I never actually used. This is nothing to do with the quality of the pool, more that Munduk has so much to offer. The hotel definitely puts effort into their social media, and I imagine they probably wouldn't actually be too keen on their pool being shown when the view is completely covered in mist. However, this is just the reality of the location of the hotel, that one moment it's going to be covered in mist, and then 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute, it completely changes and you'll have an amazing view. So, whilst I stayed in the floating villa, there are also cheaper options available, so let's take that vernacular down to take a look at them. These bungalow rooms cost around about £100 a night and they have a very similar finish to the floating villas and they're still very nice. I would be very happy to stay in one of these rooms, but honestly I don't think you can compare the bungalow to the floating villas. I'm so happy that we stayed in the more expensive option. And how much did I pay? Well, I paid £200 a night for the floating villa. That includes breakfast. And while that could be considered a bit pricey for this part of Bali, I think it's absolutely amazing value. Definitely worth it for the experience that I had. So that's my time here staying in one of these floating villas coming to an end, and overall I had an absolutely amazing time. Despite a few very small imperfections in the room and around the hotel, it was a very solid stay, and I think unless you're used to like the absolutely top end luxury hotels, I think this property is going to wow anyone. I think you'd have to be pretty soulless to not be really impressed by the view. Staying in the villas is very remote from the rest of the guests, it's very private, and being able to just enjoy the view from almost every angle of the villa, every angle of the bed, is absolutely fantastic. But unfortunately I have to go home now, but thank you very much for watching the video, and hopefully I'll see you somewhere new.